My task has been made somewhat simple by Dr. Pascal. When I was given this topic, I was wondering how to talk about the diagnosis of CAD when the audience included cardiologists as well as physicians as well as non physicians. I could not talk of advanced enough cardiology to a cardiologist as well as make the topic so simple that even school children could understand it. So I've tried to make the tasks somewhat simple. I won't talk too much of cardiology because Dr. Pascal has already covered that. But I'll talk about coronary artery disease as we see it in India. This is what we see in India. Coronary artery disease as we see in India, the patients come early, patients are younger. The coronary artery disease that we see is much more diffuse. The risk factors that we see are somewhat different. Quite often we see very young patients. Quite often they will come at the age of 20. They've had a heart attack. Majority of them are smokers. Quite often they have single vessel disease. Sometimes they have diffuse disease. So our patients are actually quite different. The burden: almost 30 million patients of CAD in India. And the Indians, wherever they stay, whether they stay in India or they stay outside, if you look at the Indian patients with CAD, the disease is different. It's occurring in younger patients, it's diffuse, and the risk factors are different. More often and than not, these patients have less of elevation of LDL. More often it's triglycerides, more often it's lipoprotein elevation. It's diffuse, sudden cardiac death is more, the MACE is much more. If you compare the mortality and the morbidity in similar patients across the globe, the Indians fare much worse. Seeing the data across various countries, majority of patients are occurring much younger. More than 25% of the MIs occur below 40 years of age. So basically what I'm trying to say is the patients are much younger in our population. Some of the older studies had shown clearly that if you look at the conventional risk factors, the conventional risk factors would explain only about 50% of the manifest coronary artery disease. So what is it that is the cause of coronary artery disease? Maybe it is that Indians as such are more prone to coronary artery disease, and then the environmental factors trigger the coronary artery disease. We have found that lipoprotein A is much more, HDL levels are much less. We also found that thrombogenic factors are there in our patients. Homocysteine levels are much higher. The metabolic syndrome is much more in our patients. So diabetes is much more, dyslipidemia, with triglycerides being more and HDL levels much less. Fibrinogen levels are much higher. The InterHeart study was, of course, showing somewhat a slight difference from what we were previously believing, and they were suggesting that the standard risk factors do explain a majority of the coronary artery disease, and India was part of the InterHeart study. We are also looking at some of the more novel risk factors like homocysteine, fibrinogen, and HSCRP. This is some of the work which we have done in collaboration with IGIB, and we have found that nutrition also seems to have some role in patients with CAD, and vitamin B12 deficiency was found to be playing a major role in patients with coronary artery disease. And a recent study which we published found that patients who had vitamin B12 deficiency had more of thrombogenic factors. Coming now to the topic which I was asked to discuss, most of this has already been actually covered by Dr. Pascal, so I won't talk much about this. Actually, you don't really need to do much of tests to diagnose a typical case of CAD. Typical angina is a patient who comes with chest pain, which is retrosternal, provoked by exertion and relieved by rest. That is typical angina. You don't need a test for that. Atypical, if there are two of these symptoms. Non-anginal, any one of these symptoms. Tests already have been covered actually. This also has already been projected. A treadmill test is available in most of the centers all over in India. Simple to do, doesn't require much of an infrastructure. fairly sensitive at about 70% of sensitivity. If you need a test which is more sophisticated, you can do some kind of imaging test like a stress thallium, which will be done using some kind of radioactive isotope, which increases the sensitivity to about 80%, which is also more specific. You would do such a test if the ECG is abnormal, you can't do a test, and you want a test which is more sensitive. Or if you have a TMT which is already been shown to be positive and you feel the TMT could be falsely positive. You can do various kinds of perfusion tests using various kinds of isotopes which have already been shown. You can do a thallium test, you can do a technetium test, you can do a PET scan, which is more often used in very specific indications, not for ischemia, but more often for looking at whether the myocardium is viable or not, whether it's alive or dead. It's used less often in India for provoking ischemia and more often for looking at viability. In simple terms, we basically look for different areas of ischemia of the heart. Just to give an example, this is how you would look at a stress test. This is representing different portions of the heart during rest, and when you provoke ischemia, a portion of the heart starts looking black during ischemia, and during rest that area looks perfused again. You can do a stress echo also, relatively simple to organize. CT scan can also be simulated to do what is called a CT angiogram. It is not usually indicated as a test for screening, though a lot of people have started using a CT angio as a surrogate for a screening test. Ideally, it should not be used as a screening test because you unnecessarily create a fear that you have coronary artery disease. It should be used in very select situations to rule out coronary artery disease rather than ruling in coronary artery disease. If you have suspicion of coronary artery disease, once you've done a ischemia test, then you should do a coronary angiogram. Just to give a perspective of the number of tests that we are doing at AIIMS, we see about 30,000 new patients in our OPDs every year. We do more than 2,000 treadmills every year. We do about 1,500 perfusion imaging every year, and do about 25 PETs, cardiac PETs every year. So that's done more of either research protocols or in a specific patient where you're looking for any viability. More often you would look for the viability in the stress imaging otherwise. Coronary angiograms about 2,000 a year, and coronary intervention about more than 1,000 a year. What are the questions that we really need to answer in our coronary patients? Now, why do Indians have higher levels of risk factors even at a younger age? Why is it that coronary artery disease occurs at younger age and at a lower level of risk factors? Are these factors as a result of gene-environment interaction? What are the potential interventions to reduce these risks? So if we're talking of collaborations or working between two institutions or two countries, maybe these are the questions which we need to answer. Well, diagnosis will only look at what has already occurred, what has already manifested, but probably we need to really tackle what has not manifested. Prevention, yes, prevention is one definite area where we need to work on, but we also need to figure out what is going to happen and what is going to be done to prevent it. And that is where probably we need to work together and figure out the answers. French wine, a Mediterranean diet, yes, that is probably one of the answers, but we need to probably work together beyond that and figure out the answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you for this very interesting talk. What about the calcification score? We are just trying to deal with that in order to have a more precise idea of the initial risk of the patient, depending on the calcification score. That means CT without any injection of iodine, and you count the calcification score.
We don't really use the calcium score for screening our patients. It's available, of course, but we don't really use it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your talk. I'm not a cardiologist, I'm a cancer doctor, so I can ask stupid questions, you know. The Indian continent is huge, from the Himalayan mountains to south. And of course, your medical campus is the best in the continent. And my question concerns the population on the north of India, because we are very keen of Himalayan mountains, the French people, you know. So can you tell us if the people in the Himalayan mountains with a high level of hemoglobin, they have a higher risk of cardiac problem or coronary problem than the people from south of India?
I
You know,
don't
stupid
think
French question, but
I don't think the coronary artery disease has been found to be different, though they have a higher prevalence of pulmonary artery hypertension because of their heights. But we have not found any difference in the prevalence of coronary artery disease. That has not been found to be any different.
thank you.
There may also be some regional differences because of the diet changes. Maybe like salt is taken more and maybe causes more hypertension. And down south, maybe coconut oil is taken more, so the cholesterol problem is different. As you rightly pointed out, India is not one country. You go to region, it changes. But on a general, we find in all regions, the MIs are occurring at a younger age. And that's a truth, because that's happening in last 2 decades. So there must be something which is playing that field.
Sir, I have a question for you. What about the biomarkers like free fatty acid binding proteins for diagnosis of acute MI and ischemic modified albumin, IMA? Can be used for screening?
We've been trying to look at all those parameters for screening. So that it's one of those studies which I showed you. So that's part of the collaboration work which I've been showing you.
How promising is those markers?
See, using biomarkers is costly. So all that is part of the research protocols that we've been doing. So it can't be generalized to the public.
Sir, I have one more question. Recently, the American dietary guidelines, they have come out with that serum dietary cholesterol. They are de-linked with the serum cholesterol. There is no role of increasing serum cholesterol by dietary cholesterol. What's your opinion on that?
See, overall, what we recommend is that if the recommendations from the West are that you keep the LDL cholesterol at 100, we recommend that you bring it down to 70. If the LDL cholesterol recommendation is 70, our guidelines come down to 50. So whatever are the guidelines, our guidelines are at least 30 lower. That's what I was trying to say, that we manifest CAD at even the normal risk factors.
Okay, that
So
is
our
about
CAD
serum
is even
cholesterol.
worse than the West at the normal risk factors.
That is about serum cholesterol, but they are linking that serum cholesterol is not increased by dietary cholesterol. They are delinking that one, which was previously known. This
See,
is
till we get
2015
some more strong data and better data, we are seeing very bad CAD, and we are seeing it with the normal LDL. And when we really bring down the cholesterol to very low levels, our patients become stable, they do better. Till we get more strong data, we will not accept that data.
When the data is being figured out, I think we are talking about the standard Indian who's basically somewhere in the north. Now, I want to ask you whether there are any racial or ethnic differences between those Indians who have a Caucasoid origin or a Negroid or a Mongoloid origin, say for instance from Andaman Nicobar Islands or from the northeastern states.
When we talk about data, we're talking about data which is pan-Indian data. When I'm talking about the Interheart study,
Yes,
the
sir.
Interheart study was done all over India.
Yes, sir, but there is
Data from
something
all
like
over India.
regional differences which has just been pointed out. How much do these weigh in favor or disfavor of the general population, sir?
No significant regional differences have been found in CAD or at least, for instance, rheumatic heart disease. There have been regional differences, for instance, in heart failure for specific types of heart failure diseases. For instance, there were certain types of heart failure diseases which were found, for instance, in Kerala, which were endemic to Kerala. That with development faded away.
No, but have studies been done to establish the genetic viability of
Yeah.
cardiovascular disease?
Yeah, so there were certain diseases which were specific to certain areas. There it was found that it was more of an environmental thing.
Okay, it was
So
mostly
it was found
environment.
that as the environment changed, as development came in, as the diseases faded away, so links were found with that particular environment.
Okay,
So it wasn't genetic, it was more of an environmental change.
okay. And any difference in those who are doing yoga, etc.? Has the cardiovascular morbidity decreased?
There are lots of studies. In fact, there were lots of studies published even from AIMS. Dr. Manchanda had also published such studies that yoga makes a lot of changes in biomarkers. He had also published studies that There are subtle changes occur in even the coronary arteries. And the coronary artery lesions become stable because yoga does reduce the stress, it reduces the biomarkers, it reduces the blood pressure.
Lastly, one question, sir, about our general population. What would you say is the gold standard screening test now?
Sorry?
Which screening test would you call gold standard now? Which would be
What we
appropriate for our
recommend is
population?
the standard screening is you screen for the standard risk factors. That means around
Yes, sir.
35, 40 you do a look at the blood pressure and you look at the lipid profile and the blood sugar. We
There's
do
no
not recommend
non-invasive
any
test?
other screening test. In fact, we don't even recommend a treadmill test.
Okay. There's no non-invasive test which can be done in a
We don't
large
recommend
population.
any other non-invasive test.
Thank you,
This is
sir.
specific for even the administrative services. We don't recommend a treadmill test.
Thank you, sir.